Well, here we go, heading to Christmas. I can't believe it's another year just about done, and we are on our last 3 tags for December. So let's see what we're going to finish with. So we are going, oh, number 1's gone, 34's gone, 36 has gone, 12 has gone, 21, 49, 21, 49 and 42. Right, that's it. So there are some tags that are not going to get done again. Oh, feels a bit sad really, but anyway, let's have a look. Where are we up to? That one. Oh, 21. Oh, a Bullion edge. Oh, that's nice. A Bullion edge. Right. I'm going for my last set here. Not very organised really, am I? 41, 42. Oh, a tag on a tag on a tag. So I'm just going to put their tags. No, that's not that one. That's that one. Tags. And then 49 was 48. 49. Oh, it was a feather. A feather or a memory. Oh, I remember doing that one. That's for Mum's birthday. Oh, that's a gorgeous one to finish on. Oh, I was thinking if there's anything to do with my mum, it was meant to be. So, there we go. As usual, I'll go grab my bits and pieces. Right, I'm back. So, I'm going to combine the 3 tags with actually finishing off my piece and getting it mounted. So there's loads of different ways that you can do this. It depends on whether you've done it in a hoop, you've done sections and things like this, but I can only really deal with what I've done, which is my bigger piece. So for my feather or memory, I always have loads and loads of feathers, and I like things to be in sort of pockets. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my feather onto the back of my tag. Find a glue stick. And then I'm going to keep it in its pocket. So it's like my mum is sort of on my piece, on my memory. So depends on what your memory is. Because I'm sort of combining this as well with the tags theme, I suppose, because one of them was tags. It is sort of fitting in with that as well, because this is like the tag. So I've got my memory that's going to go into my pocket. The tag one that I'm going to do, I've got a tag, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to write on here what the project was about, and that's going to go on the back of my piece, because then that's a memory as well. So that's sort of hit 2 things. And then my Bullion edge, I'm going to try, don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try and fit this in with actually mounting my piece of work, which is what I'm going to go through now. So I'm just going to move those bits out. So what I've done is I've cut myself a piece of foam board that's about the size, just a little bit smaller than my piece of work. It's going to go underneath, and then this is going to wrap around it. I just need to get it in the right place. That needs to go right edge. They're all going to wrap round. Wrap round, wrap round. I think that's about right. Don't know whether actually I could have done with it being a little bit wider, but no, it'll be fine. Right, so flip that over. Right, so all I'm going to do to start off with is I'm just going to pop some pins in my piece. So I'm just pulling it around the foam. Just pop some pins in. Just to hold it in place, and then I can just have a look at what it looks like. And flip it back over the top. Sorry. Right, so top corners might be a little bit like a present. And wrap it in and around. A bit tighter. Sorry, my voice has gone very quiet. I know a few people have mentioned that with a couple of my videos. I think it's because I go into a bit of a zone with what I'm doing, and I don't think about talking loudly, which, if you know me, is not a usual thing. I usually am quite loud. So it's a case of just fiddling around with it, just to get your pins in place. There's loads of different ways that you could mount your pieces of work. It doesn't have to be onto a piece of foam board. I've just done it like this because then I can just display it a little bit easier. I'm not going to frame it or anything. I just want it on a nice board, so that I've got it really, I suppose, as more of a reference. I'm glad I trimmed it down earlier on, as this would be massive. And it's quite handy having foam board because it just makes this pinning out bit a little bit easier. Flip it over. There we go. So then that would go in my pocket. I know some bits have gone around the edge, but I don't mind that. That's quite cute. Lift that up a bit. See, it's sort of rectangular. I think that's the right size. It's a ruler. Looks wider at the top. 7.5. Oh no, 7. So mine's ended up 7.5 by 13, just over 13 inches. So I'm quite happy with that. I think that looks kind of cool. Right then, so fix it onto the back. Just got myself a thread. And all I'm going to do, start off with, is go through my corners and just stitch those together. Oh. And then every so often I'm going to go from the front to, from the back. Oops. So I'm using a pearly thread, a crochet cotton, because I want quite a sturdy cotton, and then it's just a tiny little stab stitch. So you might see the colour a little bit, but if you pull it, you shouldn't do. So it's just pulling it and stitching it as I'm going along. Oops. Come through the thread there. And then just keep it tight. So you can keep just pulling and adjusting your fabric as you're going along. Oh no, that came back through. There we go. Right, back to a corner. Just put a couple of stitches in there just to hold that, and then just carry on. I can start taking the pins out. So again, just pull it and do a stitch front to back. So that's all I'm going to do, going all the way around, nothing different, just so that I know that I've got it attached to my piece of foam board. If you're doing this in an embroidery hoop, obviously you don't have to do this bit, you've got it in an embroidery hoop. But what you can do with your embroidery hoop is, if on the back you trim it, so it's about maybe an inch off the circle, and then do a running stitch, you can sort of create like a giant Suffolk puff. And what that'll do then is it'll just pull all the fabric in at the back, and then you can either leave it like that, tied off, or you can cut yourself a piece of card or a pattern piece of, cover a piece of card like in some, I don't know, wrapping paper or something like that, and then glue it on the back of your hoop so it covers all the back up if you wish. So there's all sorts of different things. You could pop it in a frame. I know some people have done it in books, so you don't need to worry about this at all. Some people have done it as tags, so if you, oops, that's gone through the pocket. If you go and have a look at all the tags, if you just on Instagram do the hashtag 52 tags handmade, you can go and you'll be able to have a look at how other people displayed their work. Let's come back through again. Been a bit vicious with my stitching, I think. There we go, it's better. Right, take the pins out. Just put the corner in. Give it a stitch. So when I'm doing the corners, I am just stitching the fabric. I'm not going through the board. So I'm hoping that then, just a couple of stitches in there will just hold that. You can go through the board if you want to. It might be that I have to come back and do a bit more either stitching, or I might come around and actually glue the edges in, or I might just get another board and glue it over the top just so that you can't see it. The backs never ever really bother me that much, to be honest. I don't mind the backs of pieces of work. It tells a story as to what's gone on. But the idea with this is it's just going to hold it onto that board. Just keep it fairly neat and tidy. Oops, gone through the thread. Right, to the corner. Oops. Doesn't matter that some of the bits have gone round the corners. I quite like that. Like I used to do pieces of work where it was intentionally around the edge of like a canvas or something. I just felt it added a bit of interest, really. I think sometimes the sides of things can be sort of forgotten. But that's what I'm going to do. I've not forgotten about my bullions. That's what I'm thinking about my bullions. I'm hoping this is going to work now I've actually stitched all this on here. Otherwise, I've just really, really messed up. Because my idea is to do a bit of a bullion edge around the edge of my actual piece. Crazy ideas. In my head it's going to work, especially seeing as though I'm busy stitching through this now and it's actually going through quite nicely. Depends on what you've done. If obviously you've put this onto a piece of hardboard, then that ain't going to work. But I'm hoping just with something a bit different. to have a few bullions going around the edge, because I've got a bit at the bottom where there's not much going on, so it might be quite nice to do that. I can't believe this is coming to the end. Well done if you've kept up, especially if you did the tags as well and you've not just done the roulette. Right, all the way back around to the beginning. Right, just tie that off. Yeah, I think that's going to hold the corners quite nicely. There we go. Right, tied off. There. Oops. Oh, the pin just flew across my room. Right, there we go. I like how the diddly bits there. So I've got like a little bit of a gap down here. So I thought actually off the bottom would be quite nice. And then, like I say, what I'm going to do is on the back. Well, I said on the back. I might actually dangle it down. Maybe it's there. I don't know. So I was going to put that on the back. I don't know. Anyway, right, let's do the bullion knots. So I need to come out at the back first. There we go. I've got my thread. So then to do your bullion, pop it through the board. Oh, sorry. Popped it through the board. So then I'm wrapping. So I've got a big milliner's needle. So I'm wrapping my thread round. Maybe quite a bit because it's quite a scoop board. So I've wrapped it round, pull my needle through, and then that will naturally come back over. And then what I need to do is go diagonally through to the other side to then give me my next bullion. So I'm going through my board, got my thread, well, it's just there. I'm wrapping it onto my needle. Quite a bit, so you need a big needle. Okay, so I've got quite a bit there. Then pull my needle through. Just knock all your coils off. Just hold your coils with your thumb and finger. And then that comes back over the top. That's worked. And then go back through diagonally to give you your next one. Same thing again. Through. So I had quite a long thread because I think I'm probably only going to get 3 bullions out of each one. Pull it through to keep your coils on there. There we go. Comes over the front. And then take it through to the back. So this time I can just go straight through because I'm going to be tying it off because I'll need another thread. So even though like discovered I realised I'd left that gap there at the bottom, actually I'll probably do a few more going along there. Got my dangly tassels thingies. I might move those two actually and bring those around the other side. So you can have a bit of a play around with where everything is, but basically tag. Ooh, I could actually stitch it through. I could make a hole and actually stitch it through to the back. So look. Go through that. There you go. There we go. Stitch that one through to the back. I just thought with it being at the back, because I'm probably going to put like a piece of card or something over the back of this, you're never going to look at the back of it. And I know I've got my tag roulette with my feather. It's going to go back in its little pocket. And then I'll write a little memory on there. So I'll just finish that little bit off, but that's it guys, we've done a whole year, December finished. Thank you so much for joining me on this year's journey, just playing around with the tags. Keep an eye out on my Facebook and my Instagram, subscribe to my newsletter on my website to see what's coming up in 2023. Hopefully you've possibly seen the video for the 2 challenges that I'm going to do next year. Hopefully you'll choose to join me, but if not, happy stitching, and if you do decide to join me, I'll see you in 2023. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, love and hugs to everybody.